Hi, I'm Movie Man. I'm an octopus who reviews movies, and today's review is going to be on.
Oh God!
So, this is a movie which I had been planning on seeing as I thought the trailers for it looked quite good. Yeah, it looks kind of funny. And I had seen that the reviews for it weren't too bad. So I went to see the film for myself yesterday, and in my opinion, I thought this movie was okay. I mean, I don't think it's a great film. I probably wouldn't be planning on watching this again anytime soon, but for what it was, I thought it was alright. Like, the cinematography is pretty good. I think the movie is shot relatively well, and I like kind of what the film can kind of do with some of its shots at times. There's some genuinely pretty nice locations in the film for a pretty nice film to look at. So yeah, I think the cinematography here is pretty solid. I think the editing here is alright as well. It is a pretty well edited movie now. I don't think it's relatively great editing, but I still think it's just pretty solid for the most part. So yeah, I think the editing is okay. The pacing in this film, I don't really think that the pacing in the movie is that great. I mean, the movie is not really too long. I mean, it is an hour and 42 minutes, so it's not really that long of a film. But what I will say is that I kind of felt like the runtime for the movie, it just kind of felt a bit long. I don't know, I feel like maybe they kind of could have paced the movie better. I mean, I thought that the pacing itself was pretty even with the plot, but I don't know, I just felt like the movie kind of felt a bit too long. I don't know, maybe they could have just paced it a bit better. Also, gonna be kind of it's gonna be kind of a minor spoil. I won't spoil too much, but what I will say is that the culprit, the person who is writing the letters, it's actually revealed around halfway through the second act, and yeah, it's kind of shocking when suddenly midway through the film, it just decides to out of nowhere reveal who the writer of the letters is. But yeah, I think it does. It tells. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really mind that the movie, did that, because I mean, I thought it went with the film relatively well. So overall, the pacing wasn't the worst, but I do think it kind of felt a bit long. So I do think the film probably could have been paced a bit better. Um, the score in this film, I will admit, is actually pretty good. Like we have there's kind of a musical score in the movie, and I'll be honest, it's actually quite a solid score. Like it's quite nice to listen to. I think it pretty much fits with the movie well. Yeah. So the score in the movie is actually pretty good. Um, Now in terms of the characters, now I mean we have like quite a few characters in the movie. I won't really discuss each of them individually, but what I will say is that I think the characters in the movie were quite solid. Like, I thought pretty much everyone kind of has like their own like moments in the film. They each kind of has like their own time to shine in it. I don't really feel like anybody was, left out. Um, yeah, so I thought pretty much all these characters were relatively entertaining in their own right. And I think the performances in this movie from the cast, I thought the performances were honestly very good. Like, I don't really think anyone gave a bad performance in this. I thought pretty much everyone plays their roles here very well. Though if I was to note a few standouts, I probably have to go with Olivia Colman, Jessie Buckley, and Timothy Spall. I thought the three of them in particular were very good in this. Um, yeah, so I thought like the characters in the movie were solid, and I thought the cast, especially the standouts who I mentioned, they all did very good jobs. Um, as for the plot of the movie now, obviously this film is relatively inspired from true events. And yeah, I mean it is quite a weird little story that that this film is based off of. And I mean, now the way it's told in the film, I highly doubt that a lot of kind of the way that it's portrayed in the movie is like exactly how it happened in real life, because I think the film kind of goes for like kind of a bit of an exaggerated take on the whole thing, where it's told in kind of a comedic way, where like yeah, there's like a lot of swearing in this. Yeah, I honestly highly doubt that that was exactly how it played out in real life. However, I'll admit, like, the way the film decides to tell this story by, kind of being very exaggerated about it, kind of going for a bit of a, like, comedic take on the whole thing, I think it pretty much works for the film, because, like, a kind of a weird story that's based off of where everybody's just receiving these letters, and it's just, and there's just like so much vulgar language. Yeah, it is. It's definitely a very kind of a weird story, alright. So I feel like it would kind of make sense for this film to kind of tell it in this really kind of an exaggerated way. Um, so I do think like the very exaggerated take. I think it works for the movie pretty well. Now the humor itself, I'll be honest. I think the humor in this film is pretty decent. Well, I don't think it's great humor. I don't think this movie really has me, laughing out loud for most of it. But well, I honestly don't think all of the jokes landed. But with that being said, most of these jokes were pretty cleverly written. I don't really think any of them were that bad. Well, I'm pretty sure there was like a farce at one point which kind of made me cringe a little, but for the most part, even if it doesn't really make me laugh, I do think it is pretty cleverly written humor. And to be fair, there are quite a few jokes in the movie which did make me laugh. Like a lot of them come from Rose, who is Jessie Buckley's character. I thought her character was probably the funniest in this because, well, there was like a lot of there was a lot of scenes of hers which honestly did kind of make me laugh a bit. So yeah, the humor I thought was pretty decent. I thought like it worked for this film's exaggerated take on this whole story. So yeah, I think overall the plot is pretty solid. I think like the very exaggerated take on the true story, it works pretty well. Um, as for the narrative structure now, like we kind of have like scenes dedicated to kind of all of these characters. Like, we have like the whole plot with Edith, who is Olivia Colman, and how like she's basically she's living with like her father and her mother, and like we're kind of seeing a bit of her life and how she's kind of the one who's receiving all the letters. We have like the plot with Rose and like how she's like being accused of writing the letters and she's trying to prove her innocence. And we also have the whole subplot with um the the female police officer Moss, with how like she believes that Rose could actually be innocent and is trying to kind of figure that out. There was actually a bit of commentary in the film with how she's a kind of a female police officer and kind of how that's kind of a different thing for that time. I thought the film kind of delves a bit into that aspect pretty well. Like and I think like these different subplots with these three women, they work into this main narrative pretty well. I think like it is a solid mystery. Like you are kind of trying to figure out like who it actually is that could be writing these letters. Now, of course, as I said earlier, they do actually reveal midway through the film who it actually is that's writing the letters. But I think even when it is revealed, you are interested in seeing, like, where it's gonna go, kind of what it's gonna lead to. So yeah, I thought the film did that aspect pretty well. So I'd say I'd say the narrative structure here was pretty solid. So overall, I think Wicked Little Letters is actually a pretty okay movie. There's a solid score in it. There's some solid characters. There's some very good performances in it. And I think the way it kind of tells this whole story in a very exaggerated way. It works for the movie pretty well. That's not to say it's a great film by any means. It's not amazing. It's not one that I plan to watch again. As like I mean as again I said, kind of the pacing I thought could be a bit better, but overall as it is, I think it is an okay movie, and I'd say it's worth one time, you want to see kind of how this a retelling of this story, and kind of told in a bit of a funny way, I mean, I think it's a solid film to watch if you just want to go as comedy, but also kind of like kind of an exaggerated retelling of a true story. So I think this film is alright enough for a one time watch. So with that, I'm going to give Wicked Little Letters a 6 out of 10. So with that, we'll see you guys next time, and bye.